I don't know what they mistake me as, or if they don't understand the intelligence that this young man has right here. You know, education is elevation. Purpose for this video is educational purposes only. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Shout out to everybody that's been hit me up in the past couple of days, man. Um, I'm gonna be live reacting to this video. I haven't seen any of the video at all. I've just been told about it. Uh, Before I play that video, though, actually, I think I had something else that I wanted to get in. Let's hit my wife back. But yeah, man, we know last week a lot of things transpired. A lot of people have different emotions and different feelings about it. And I guess consciously find its way up in here, man. See if I can get this right here before I get in. Yeah, man, when y'all coming in, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. It's gonna be a good one today. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding the legacy of Kevin Samuels. Even before he was gone, there was already people that was, people was very polarizing. He was a very polarizing figure. You either, you either loved him or you hated him. You know what I'm saying? There's really, and some people felt very, very indifferent. I know people that was like, I ain't really care for him, but I ain't really have a lot. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. Shout out to everybody in Atlanta, Jersey. I actually wanted to. Hold on, not extra camera. I actually want to bring in another video real quick, man. Video file. Extra comp. You know what? Forget it. I was looking for this particular video, man, but I can't find it. We're gonna just jump right into it, get right to what we came for. Cause why wait? why wait, man? Shout out to mediocre tutorials. I think the name is very fitting, mediocre. My first time watching this video, I'll be pausing it and stopping it and responding to it. Let me know in the comment sections how y'all feel, what y'all think about it, man. Let's get it going. You really making this claim as if the world is not structured masculinity over femininity, men over women? Do I need stats to prove this? Yes. Politically, socially, economically, women are at the bottom of the hierarchy. I think this would suffice as men being oppressors.
Yes, King. Yes. Defend our honor, even though the reality of the world that we live in is not one of which the Black woman was ever under the control of the Black man. But if you want to go from a fact perspective, we can do that as well. Most people who die in wars are men. Most people who are homeless are men. Most people who are in jail are men. The people that do worse in
this gonna be easy. This gonna be real. If that's what he started with, it's gonna be real easy. For y'all that don't know, man, education is elevation. My name is Professor Lee, and let's go and get it going, man. The definition of patriarchy is about male domination. Him using arguments about homelessness and about war, it does nothing but illustrate how patriarchy and male domination also impacts men. That's all he's talking about. Think about it like this: when you talk about war, who are men fighting against? Other men, correct? So when he calls himself trying to negate my analysis about masculinity over femininity or men over woman, him using this right here in debate, we'll call it a fallacy. Y'all gonna learn more about me, you know what I'm saying, as this video goes, but let's keep it going.
In school are men. The people that have the worst or the most dangerous jobs are men. The most people who die or are injured at their jobs are men.
Male domination, bro. We live in a society that literally values male labor more. So when men go to more dangerous jobs, it's funny.
All right, guys, y'all looking at the thumbnail. Y'all looking at the title of the video. Y'all already know what time it is. It is time to get out.
Hey, guys, I know you see what are we doing here, guys? Like in many different instances, there are a lot of criticisms that people have for the intellectual analysis that's made on YouTube. And I can tell my light-skinned brother right here, he's finna illustrate the reason why so much pseudo intellectual shit be going on the YouTube streets. And he's also, I bet you're gonna illustrate the way in which we have half-truths that we're able to make sensational. Because listen, before I'm going to play again, I'm not just some fast-talking dude on the internet. I teach in real life. I'm a real debate coach.
Active. Guys, I've talked about this before, and the idea that one of the most prevalent things that upsets me when I record these videos is watching a young, indoctrinated, soy-filled young man that probably went to a college institution and took a gender studies course and now out with...
Hey, bring out the popcorn. This is where it's funny. I'm probably older than this gentleman right here. And when he talks about going to a college, his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, or his Lord and Savior Kevin Samuels, y'all know what university he went to? The University of Oklahoma. Y'all know what university the Conscious Lee went to? The University of Oklahoma.
Depicts his words in a way to show anger towards men for being misogynistic and oppressive in this totalitarian patriarchy of a society in regards to women. I find a young man that's spouting all of this ish, so we must get active. Without further ado,
creating my website on GoDaddy definitely.
This right here is funny, man. We're about to get into it. Right now, we've already seen there's been a lot of facetious assumptions that's been made about me. For y'all that don't know, I'm 31 years old.
Lady, so is there any statistical proof you can give me that women have it worse than men? And
then I'm not done with you either, fam. You really making this claim as if the world is not structured masculinity over femininity, men over women. Do I need stats to prove this? Yes. Politically, socially, economically, women are at the bottom of the hierarchy. I think this would suffice as men being oppressors.
So the narrative in and of itself is wrong because it's telling women that they are at a disadvantage right from the get-go. And that simply isn't true. If anything, it's a woman's world. We're advantaged as females. You did that. We have more women on college campuses than men. We have more female breadwinners today than ever.
I have a master's degree in adult and higher education. And this is what's funny about these type of analysis that this woman right here is making and that old boy is making, that though you're able to acknowledge that the demographics at the university is quote unquote more women than men, when we start going up on that scale and thinking about who's getting tenureship, who's getting retained, who's getting the, you know what I'm saying, the pay raises is men. You know, when we think about that, the statistics that they're saying is that women are predominantly at universities, but most university presidents are men. Most university provosts and deans are men. So when we start thinking about who gets to dictate what it means to be a professor or what it means for you to get a raise or what it means for you to do X, Y, and Z, typically it's being defined by men. This about to be elementary, man.
But also a huge rise in single motherhood. So at the rise of the so-called rise of women has come at a tremendous cost. And that is what is not allowed to be acknowledged.
The young brother in the beginning of the video literally said, can you provide any statistics? And then you said, do I need stats in order to prove this? Yes, you do need stats.
I showed stats in that video too. Why you playing the whole video?
Yourself, you in the black community. When has ever the black woman been under the rule and the oppression of the black man?
Hey, in the black church, and fraternities and sororities. When we think about the institution of hip hop music, when we think about, literally whose labor is being valued in terms of engineering, in terms of science, in terms of mathematics, it's like, I get the argument y'all trying to make, right? The argument y'all are trying to make is that, hey, consciously, if we live in a world that's made by the white man, how can you say that black men are able to oppress black women? And it's just like, we're going to ignore the notion of ain't no fun unless we all get some. Ain't nothing. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. We're gonna gloss over the normalized understanding in the black community of looking at 4 and 5 year old girls as being fast. Brother, that is a institution. And I mean, listen, a structure. Structure is codes, practices, norms, institutions, and policies. And when we think about the black community, we have things that govern us. And I'll be willing to argue, debate him, and kick anybody else's ass in the election, wipe the floor with them, that says that the tropes and the things that we have normalized inside the black community has had a detriment and a biggest detriment on black women. Easy.
When has that ever?
And doing this live right here, so y'all really seeing this is like this my first time hearing this man right here. You feel me? We got Kevin Samuels, light-skinned kinfolk, that's now literally mourning and using his mourning to go at Kevin Samuels' critics. You feel me? It seemed like it'd be better for your time to just sit around and hold visuals for Kevin Samuels instead of bothering the people that really, you know what I'm saying, that criticize him. You know what I mean? I ain't said nothing crazy about his death. I don't get the timing of this particular video, but I'll let you keep on going.
Happen. It's tough to see these young men philosophers indoctrinated into these young women talking points so readily without the proper guidance, the proper tutelage, and they just espout these things off. And you know, I think low key they do it in order to get butt at the end of the day, and they see all the women that's down into their comment.
I'm a happily married man, and it makes me sad when grown ass men try to fold their criticisms and saying some shit that we did when we was in middle school or high school. Man, you only saying that because he's trying to get some. It's like, fam, the ultimate notion of simping. And you know what? I gotta find this video. Hold on 1 minute. I gotta find this video because the ultimate notion of simping to me, you know, is when you know, hold on. When you're trying to appeal to people and you're doing it in a facetious way and you're going about saying things you wouldn't usually say. You know what I'm saying? I think that most smart people would agree that, yeah, that is probably, you know, what we're going to call a you know, it's probably something we can call simping or being facetious or being fake. I'm finna pull up a Kevin Samuels video. Let me know when it's on the screen. Y'all let me know when it's on the screen. Why they ain't sharing? Hold on. Why they ain't sharing? Hold on. Why they ain't sharing? Share the screen. Share screen. Trying to share this. I gotta show y'all a video. I came across Kevin Samuels talking in this wrinkled shirt about how he can appeal. The system got lost permission to capture the screen, fix it. I can't even show y'all to share the video. Oh man, that's cold. I can't even share the video, man. But I'm gonna share the video. In this video, Kevin Samuels is talking about how he know that his numbers will go through the roof if he would just start to talk shit about black women and started talking about female nature and all this. That's literally what he says in the video. But we'll go back to letting brother man right here say his piece. You know what I'm saying? And I find it funny that I knew it. I knew based off the individuals that was like, man, he red pilled you, man. He cooked you. I knew based off the individuals that was making those statements that it was going to be some lightweight. You feel me? So far,
saying yes, King, yes, defend our honor, even though the reality of the world that we live in is not one of which the black woman was ever under the control of the black man. But if you want to go from a fact perspective, we can do that as well. Most people who die in wars are men. Most people who are homeless are men. Most people who are in jail are men. The people that do worse in school are men. The people that have the worst or the most dangerous jobs are men. The most people who die or are injured at their jobs are men. Those that suffer from the most violent crimes are men. And these are all facts. These are all stats that you can look up on yourself in order to be able to answer the question. But saying,
let's answer the question. In every single example that he gave, that situation was either a product of male domination, i.e. that when men go into war, we're literally trying to measure who is the most dominant, which I don't know how you're going to blame that on women, or say that because men are most likely to have the most dangerous jobs, this negates that women make lesser pennies on the dollar than men. You feel what I'm saying? You point out that men are more likely to be homeless. It does not negate that they are homeless because other men did not give them jobs. For instance, We know that a big percentage of homelessness in America are who? War veterans. Are we going to ignore how male domination and being exposable and disposable based off of your value and how you're able to dominate or be dominated is literally why we don't give a damn about people that's on the streets? See, a lot of these things talking about indoctrination is a lot of you Kevin Samuels fans and Kevin Samuels fans, y'all have taken right-wing conservative speaking points and you just tried to paint them in blackface to make them sound cool and sexy. But it doesn't negate that at the end of the day, they are conservative speaking points. You see what I'm saying? When you talk about indoctrination, it's like, where did this man's credentials come from? You see what I'm saying? We know my credentials came from. Where does your credentials came from? It sounds like to me you've been indoctrinated by a social media personality that now you are having a knee-jerk reaction to his death, and now you acting out. Bro, his last 10 YouTube videos were about Kevin Samuels. If I ain't know no better, I would say they looking at Kevin Samuels like he a Martin Luther King or something like that. This is the definition of being lost in the sauce. And two, if all the people talking about the red pill and the blue pill and the cooking, I hope you wasn't referencing these quote unquote statistics about how men are most likely to die in war. A war is a manifestation of patriarchal domination, i.e. men trying to dominate themselves. You feel me? Like literally, as somebody that was raised in the hood, you know what I'm saying? I know for a fact it's a dog-eat-dog world. And a lot of times how we're able to justify going at another black man is based off of how friendly or weak we see they to be. That is a notion of male domination. That's easy. You see what I'm saying? This easy light work. And y'all, guess what? I'm giving y'all these analysis off top of the head right now in real time. Imagine if I watched this video and made notes. Imagine if I took this video and gave notes. This gentleman right here, mediocre tutorial guy right here, his analysis is so mediocre. I almost want to invite him to a classroom that I will run to teach him his debate skills. Because it's not only that I disagree with his arguments, the way he's structuring his arguments is all based off of not only fallacies, there's no real impacts.
Such blanketed statements without context that women are not represented from a political, from an economic perspective is in fact.
Women are not represented from a political and economic standpoint. That's very interesting. We've already touched in the educational realm and talked about how power and money is literally on the side of male domination. We look at the realm of like education. Let's think about it in terms of politics. How many women Supreme Court justices have we had in the entirety history of America? How many? How many women presidents have we had compared to male presidents? How many? When folks start getting in their feelings and start talking about facts, to the people that have a low vibration and your emotional intelligence is low, I recognize a lot of y'all gonna read my passion as being like, oh, he's too emotional, not a lot of logic. I feel sorry that y'all don't have a high level of emotional intelligence and you create these fake distinctions between logic and emotion. But listen, man. You can be indoctrinated and still get this work. Whoever wants the smoke, you feel me? I can grab it.
Very dangerous because the context here absolutely matters. But let's keep going.
That stat you made about college is saying that men are only 38% of college students. You recognize that most of the deans and the school presidents and the provosts are men.
But is it that more men are being hired for these jobs because women are being shut out, or are more men applying for these jobs and because of that, more men are being hired?
Oh man, that's a great question. I just happen to have a master's degree in adult and higher education. Let me tell you something. The hiring process of all universities, it goes through something called the Title IX. And what we recognize is because most universities are ran by men, they're not trying to get what they call sued. You know what I'm saying? For not making into Title IX policies. A Title IX that was also structured by men. You see what I'm saying? But it's like who's hiring these women? Men. So the circular idea that says that because women are more represented, you feel me, in this, it must mean that they have most power. That same idea will be able to say, hey, man, black athletes have more power in sports because we are the majority. Like, never mind that the white power, the people that own the teams and sign the checks got the most power. Hey, man, we should focus on, hey, the NBA and the NFL is 80% black people, 80% black men. Black men obviously are running being able to dictate how much they get paid. It's just wild. And then You're gonna have a white man come up, Peterson, that completely destroys the feminist narrative. I'm gonna let this narrative play, but this is something I want all the YouTube world and all the Kevin Samuel stands to recognize. There's a distinction between Black feminism and white feminism. There's a distinction between Black feminism and white feminism. And you should go to the library and explore that part.
If you hire a plumber who's likely to be male, it's not because there's roving bands of tyrannical plumbers forcing you to make that choice. And it's the case with almost every interaction that you have at the face of our culture. You're dealing with people who are offering a service of one form or another, who are usually part of the broad middle class, and who offer, and what you're looking for is the person who can offer the best service, and you can find it. It's not a consequence of being dominated by anything that's tyrannical.
It's okay to think that we are different, and then because of the different chemicals that fire in our brain, we look for different avenues for employment. Most women want to stay home and take care of the kids. They respect.
Hi, thanks for coming. We are looking.
According to whom most women want to stay at home? I'm telling y'all, that sounds like a white conservative speaking point that was lost in the sauce and stuck in the 1970s and the 1960s. Most women, you feel me, even making a statement about most women without having some statistics to it, we know it's just you really being facetious. You feel me? Especially because Kevin Samuels made a whole following off of attacking the quote unquote modern day women because they don't want to be stuck in the home and controlled and told about making sandwiches. And it's happened to bust it open when a nigga say, oh, bust it open. It's a lot of cap in y'all rap, man.
Career woman independent bullshit that our society wants to place on them today. But if you sat down and had a focus group with modern day women and asked 10 of them, how many would rather be at home taking care of them?
Do y'all not see how shallow this is? On one instance, I'm gonna paint consciously a 31-year-old, you know what I'm saying, a 31-year-old professor that's married with kids. I'm gonna paint him as a young man that's indoctrinated by the women and gender studies program. But then on another part of the video, I'm gonna act like he has no relationship with modern day women. How does that make sense? On one notion, I've been indoctrinated and I only say speaking points from women. But on another notion, I gotta create an interest group with modern day women because I don't know.
Their child, I would guess it'd be about 8 out of 10.
Most women choose to work once they have.
Notice as well, he's using a white woman as the spokesperson to try to debunk my arguments that are structured by the literature of Black feminism and Black womanism. When I'm making my distinction between woman about feminism and about how white feminists are critiqued politically, socially, and economically by Black feminists for always being lost in the sauce of what Kevin Samuels was, trying to always be like, well, woman, if she can't get this type of job, like, fam, you know about the specific employment rate with Black people? Do you know the specific employment rate with Black women? Do you know the specifics of how Black women's labor is valued in juxtaposition to white men or even white women? I think it is very telling that he's using this white woman from Red Pill. I know it's his own shit, Red Pill, but it's very telling that this is who he thinks is an authority to speak about feminism. You feel me? And for y'all that don't know Education's Elevation, Black feminism is literally birthed out of telling, hey, white women, you do not dictate what it means to be woman and femininity and womanhood. So when this mediocre guy is saying that most women want to be at home, what woman is he talking about?
Have children. Once they're married and have children, choose to work either part-time or not at all when children are home in their home, like between birth and 18.
But if you sat down and you talked to men regarding the same shit, I'd argue maybe 2 out of 10. That's not facts. That's just opinion. But I'd love to be able to run statistics on a population in order to prove that hypothesis. Let's move on.
How crazy domination of women are. Even though we can recognize that women are going to college at higher rates, we see that men are getting these positions of power for having said credentials. 3 out of 10 college presidents are women.
3 out of 10.
Real, the way you ask your question, show me your mind is already made up, which means you on some gaslighting shit when you ask women this question because you're going to deny all of the evidence they give you anyway. Textbook misogyny, man. That's what you got going on right here. Textbook. Calling women.
Just asking the question of proving the statistics is now called misogynistic. This is where our young men are today. It's really just sad to be able to see it like this on TikTok or whatever the social media platform is, as readily as what it is. That's what's called misogynistic. That's oppressing women, asking questions. having a conversation regarding this, all of a sudden we're weaponized into hating women, to oppressing women. To
point in case. If a white person come and ask me where my daddy is, and I say that that's racially insensitive, or I say that's racist, a white person can gaslight me and say, well, man, asking you to prove where your daddy is you saying that's racist now? I'm also be like, I would like to ask this man a question. It's like, what is your definition of misogynistic? Like when I say something is misogynistic, when I say that, what comes to mind for you? Because I'm almost positive he don't know what misogynistic means. He don't know what misogynistic is. But fallacies, man.
To not liking women? Don't you understand how damaging that rhetoric is? Like, we can't come to the table and just have a conversation regarding this shit, right? This is such a terrible and ridiculous thing to not only teach young people today, but to demonstrate who you are as a man and to hold yourself to that particular standard. But let's keep going.
Education is elevation, and I'm about to explain why calling a woman a female is problematic. First, let's get into the dictionary definition of female, which we have two of them. One is an adjective and the other one is a noun. The adjective is denoting the sex that can bear offspring or produce eggs. Women are more than their reproductive organs. Also,
hey, y'all see her on the adjective? The example that the dictionary used for female is a herd of deer.
So trans women do exist. Now, one of the reasons why we never refer to men or a
yeah, trans women exist, but they're not biological females. Where are we going with this?
Man as a male, because we know that men are more than our reproductive organ.
I think this is a good point right here. Just now I'm going to my phone. I'm finna give y'all, because a lot of y'all be having C's, D's, and F's your whole scientific career, and all of a sudden in 2022 you want to act like you a goddamn biological expert when it comes to trans identities. Let's define the word biological, because I think the word he's looking for is anatomical, based off anatomy and sex, and you know what I'm saying, and sex, but he used the word biological. Let's look at the definition of biological, because we're gonna be able to see a lot of cap in y'all rap, you know. Biological, according to Oxford Dictionary, relating to biology or living organisms. Second definition, genetically related to the blood. So when y'all talk about being biological gender and biological this and biological that, y'all cannot use a buzzword that you think means something, you feel me, to try to make a point that doesn't, that can't be made, really. You see what I'm saying? Like, for you to throw the word out, biological, is like, listen, fam, y'all gonna scratch y'all head until it bleeds and literally ignore anything that a real scientist says. When I say real scientist, literally the science community agrees more with me than with y'all. But this is what I mean, though. The points that he's coming at me about, trying to say, hey, man, this young brother's indoctrinated, they are conservative speaking points. And just so we're clear, I will kick anybody ass in the Kevin Samuel Stans camp, and I will have a better criticism of liberalism and of the left than any of y'all.
But for some reason, we like to reduce women to just being their organ. Not to mention all women don't have ovaries because trans women exist. And then look at the example the definition uses, a herd of female deer, which brings me to the second definition of noun. It's literally a female plant or animal, showing you that female is a dehumanizing term that's usually talking about animals and plants. Now think about the coded language of this, right? They say a female dog is referred to as the B word, correct? A lot of us will subconsciously throw the female word around very rapidly because we want to call women the B words.
God damn it. What college does this young man go to? That whole gender studies program should be nuked into the goddamn ground. It should be nuked into the ground. I don't mean this. Hold on, let me put a public service announcement, metaphorically speaking. Okay. Not actually. Jesus.
Hey, the irony of him asking particular questions over and over again. I teach and went to the same university your Lord and Savior Kevin Samuels went to. The same, hey, I went to the same institution that your self-proclaimed relationship guru went to. You see what I'm saying? And listen, man, but though this is my first time watching this video, I want to try to look out and figure out who this mediocre guy is. So what university did you go to become this relationship financial literacy guru? Was it University of Kevin Samuels? What degree did you get from the University of Kevin Samuels? Certified in what? A bachelor's, master's in what? Y'all YouTube university guys have a lot of nerve of dealing with real, like listen, when I look up this gentleman right here, I don't see nothing that he doing in real life outside of the penny hustling that he doing on the internet. I don't see him doing no speaks. I don't see him doing no community engagement. I don't see him doing none of that. All I see him doing is fanboying on the internet about Kevin Samuels. Literally, the 19 minutes he spent on Old Consciously and doing these videos, it would have been better him spending actually giving a eulogy to Kevin Samuels. I heard Cuz got doing a GoFundMe. I hope that I hope all the proceeds that you get from your video, from my likeness, because I'm so goddamn smart and cute, that you give it to Kevin Samuels and his estate to be able to pay for his, pay for him to get put in that ground.
I don't want to get canceled. Anyway, the interesting thing about this conversation right here.
Hey, this video right here is showing me that a lot of people really have, like, y'all be acting like y'all high off of some meds. You feel me? Like in the hood, I used to hate somebody that act like, man, this that gas, this and his meds. Y'all telling me, oh man, consciously he cooked you. He smoked you in this video. It's some mid. He has elementary understanding of gender. You see what I'm saying? A middle school understanding of, you feel me, logic and debating. And y'all don't
calls a female dog a bitch anymore. That's of yesteryear. So it's difficult to try to make that association in an educated man's young mind And
then that's the funny part about this, man. Emotional intelligence. Listen, if I'm telling you that female dog is used as substitution for bitch, that should have gave up my age right there, young fella. I'm almost willing to bet I'm older than this guy probably. You see what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. It should have been very telling of my example, especially what he said right there. Nobody says that anymore. Sir, this millennial was showing his age. I got whatever money he want to put on that he would not be able to deal with me in a public debate. He can pick the time. He can pick whether I speak first and last. He can pick, you feel me, how long we talk. I guarantee you, I will intellectually wipe the floor with this light-skinned brother right here. You feel what I'm saying? Like this
kind of conjoin the two to like try to say that there's some Illuminati that's trying to create some shit against women, and they're doing it for bitch to female, and then female to look in the dictionary and look, it's a plant or an animal, therefore men are calling women bitches. It's a goddamn stretch. I'm from New York originally. I grew up saying female. I grew up saying female because it's just the word that was taught to me at the time. I've come to know after that you can use female as an adjective to more readily describe the type of woman. For example, you can say female barber, right? You could say female construction worker, and that is particular.
I was a whole English teacher for 9th and 10th grade. He's using the word female to describe a position and not using female to define a human, a female dancer, a female. He's talking about an industry, a role. You see what I'm saying? My example still fits.
Really fine. Now, I typically don't refer to women as just females off of the strength of,
I particularly don't,
of understanding that it bothers so many educated women that went to college and got fed all this bullshit. So I do it from my own perspective, not.
Let me tell you something, fam. Because now you're starting to slide into some anti-blackness that I don't like. I got 7 sisters, you feel me? And none of them went to college. What I recognize is that when I was in high school, and all of them younger than me too, we was old enough to recognize a dog whistle, my guy. We knew when you was throwing shade. We knew when you was faking and fucking and playing. My nigga, in high school, my little sister told her dude, hey, don't call, hey, you better watch how you keep on calling me female. You better watch how you, so the fact that you're going to try to say, little education is bad. These educated black women go get indoctrinated and say female is bad. It's like, listen to what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying. Being educated is bad because it makes you disagree with me. If you're educated and you being educated does not allow for me to treat you the way I want you to treat you, you're bad. And the way you were educated was bad. That's what the white people, same thing they do. To me, it's funny that he made this video while all this shit with Roe v. Wade was going on. Like literally, how many men versus how many women are having the ability to appeal the word Roe v. Wade? You feel me? How many? Like this shit is so kind of like it's so asinine. It's so asinine. It's a literal revolution going on outside the window. You feel me? We got countries invading countries. We got niggas getting popped upside the head of the police. And Kevin Samuels and his cheerleaders wants to tell women how to be high value. Nah, bro, you only seen some of the videos. You only seen, nigga, this same nigga right here trying to psychoanalyze my videos is doing the same exact thing you Kevin Samuels things claim folks do with Kevin Samuels. You just have a snapshot understanding of Kevin Samuels. You don't even watch all his videos. I got over 7,000 videos on TikTok. This man has come up with an analysis of who consciously is based off of what? At this point, I think we referenced like 5 videos. And he's wrong.
To anticipate any arguments or bullshit that can go on, because I've had women say this goddamn argument to me as well. So for posterity's sake, I just eliminate the word unless I'm using it as an adjective. So this one's an interesting one for.
How is he supposed to be giving this discussion-based format and trying to debunk what I'm saying and you disagree with everything I just said? Female is an adjective. It's not a noun. It's an adjective. It's a descriptor. You feel me? You don't define things based off of that. A noun is a person, place, a thing, correct? I don't get what you guys are trying to get at when you try to create these aha gotcha moments, because I can tell y'all picked the right one. Now I'm just waiting on which one of you Kevin Samuels stands is going to set up a structured debate with me. I don't want to hear nothing about he overtalked me. He didn't give me a chance to talk. All I ask is that you honor the timer. When that timer going on and you talking, I'm going to write down and respond to all the bullshit ass arguments you respond, all the bullshit arguments you make. All I ask is that you reciprocate that respect. Don't say shit when the timer going off when I'm saying it, and respond to the arguments I make. That's all I ask. That goes to mediocre. I'm going to show him how mediocre he really is, especially in this analysis start when it comes to old consciously. And really any one of you Kevin Samuels stands. That go for T.I. That go for any one of the big black men that claim to have a following. I'm really about that action, about that smoke. And all that bullshit y'all be trying to pull, I'm really nigga to pull it with. You feel me? I want to show you that I'm more than big words, and I can best do that in live engagement. I don't need no editor. I don't need no production. I don't need none of that shit. Just give me the camera, give me the timer, and let's get it. Let's get it. But I know y'all don't want to do that though. You see what I'm saying? Y'all would rather have engagements that Kevin Samuels had. See, it's a reason why Kevin Samuels particularly had women. Usually, the ones that went viral was women. Niggas like me challenging Kevin Samuels, and he ain't talking about it. And I don't want to hear shit about clout chasing because I got more followers on TikTok than he got on YouTube. You see what I'm saying? And being real with you, this what all y'all doing now. All the Kevin Samuels cheerleaders are swinging at the goddamn air trying to fill the void. But let me tell you what y'all should do. Instead of focusing on old consciously, y'all should just have a goddamn Hunger Games. Who is the best Kevin Samuels stance? It can only be one of you niggas. It can only be one of y'all. You feel me? It can only be one of y'all. So instead of focusing on the detractors and the critics, how come y'all don't just keep his legacy going? Because you see right here, he getting embarrassed right now. What? How can you say that this is a male domination and men die the most at war? Yes, at the hand of other men, my guy. At the hand of other men, my guy. This literally sounds like a white Irish person saying, yeah, black people, but Irish were enslaved too. It's like, not quite like how you saying it, but even if it is, they were enslaved by other white people. So him pointing out that men die most is like, yeah, at the other hand of men. You see how male domination works? Whatever.
For me, because I don't agree with what they're saying, but as a man that has worked in corporate America and understanding kind of the climate of using words like that, I acquiesce and choose not to use it in that particular fashion because of the climate of the bullshit today and how you can get caught up. I tell you guys all day, how you conduct yourself or move in a room or build relationship with people will determine your outcomes into the future. And sometimes you have to understand the climates and then make decisions based off of that for the betterment of yourself. But let's keep it rocking.
Are you single or are you married?
Oh, what up,
I'm in a relationship.
So you single or you married?
My boy is such a stand that's lost in the sauce. I'm talking about if like I'm trigger warning right here, man. I apologize. I'm almost positive this man has intellectually masturbated to the points of Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels came on the screen. He said, "Oh, hey, Kevin. Y'all should go to therapy. A lot of y'all unraveling on the internet, going at people that disagree with you, and you'll do better for you and the people that you love by just going to therapy. You heard. You heard. And in this video right here, it's going to prove why Kevin Samuels was full of the shit that he like literally like, oh, I'm at the video playing to make my point.
Single, I guess, yeah. Single. Okay. Any children? No. You ever married? Mm-hmm.
Why would y'all call in the Kevin show with a bonnet on? So you're calling into a show that has tens of thousands of people watching, and that's what you choose to put on?
I like.
Hey, to all of the black men from Bryan, College Station, Texas, whether you my family or my friend that hit me up about this goddamn video, y'all niggas is out of there, man. And this the reason why y'all got so much out the video, man. We disagree fundamentally on everything. I got 2 master degrees. I got my own business. I travel the country, travel the world in some instances, doing what the hell I want to do, wearing what I want to wear. You feel me? Gold chain, nugget earrings, nappy headed ass locks, Jordans, and you lost in the sauce of respectability politics. He said, sister, you better know who you talking to, the Lord and Savior Kevin Samuels. How dare you pull up to his platform wearing a bonnet? How dare you do that, sister? My Uncle Kevin don't go for that shit. Don't worry about it, Kevin. I got you. Tens of thousands of people when you show up. Come on, fam. It's the last thing I say on this little part of the rant right here. Listen, man. The type of dude I am, once I realize we got different values, you feel me? We have different standards. We have different notions of success. I don't care about your respect. I don't care about what you think about me and how you feel about me. You see what I'm saying? A lot of Kevin Samuels stands, whether I win at Kevin Samuels or not, was already not gonna like me and what I was about, just based off of me being an acquired taste. You know? So it's just like clout chase to your clout chase, man. Now y'all then let me light a fire up under my ass, and now I'm over here on the YouTube world. So whoever wants to smoke, I'm about it. Let's get it.
You've been in a relationship?
We've been official for 4 years.
We were named best of the best.
Man, y'all, I'm talking about it, man. Talking about like I'm like literally, if you ask this woman, are you single or are you divorced? I mean, are you single or are you married? I'm with somebody. Did Kevin Samuels die single or married? Single or married? So if you able to build a career off the backs of black women by telling them they are leftover and that they damaged goods because they are unmarried, because they're single, and you die not married and single, what does that mean for you? What does that mean for you? This the part right here. I'm gonna start calling out the culture really in many different instances, man. Especially a lot of you old bullshit ass Kevin Samuel fans. We've been normalizing smoking op packs in our community for 2-3 years now. What? A rapper get knocked off? Niggas start talking about smoking packs all of a sudden? Where y'all at? What about their family? What about shit? What about the people's family that had? Hey, my mama is what? She's 16 years older than me. I'm 31. So I'm a 47. I'm a 47 with 4 kids and 3 baby daddies. I know a lot of people that have mothers that have backgrounds and demographics like mine. I don't want to hear that unity, pro-black, we all want people shit if y'all didn't normalize empowering black men at the expense of black women. That's my question to all you cheerleaders, man. How come your empowerment of black masculinity has to come at the expense of black femininity? How come your inspiration of being a black man has to come at the demise of being a black woman? Why?
What's the hold up on marriage?
What's the rush?
Common sense.
Are you married?
And you want to do it with me?
I'm just saying, are you married?
Okay, see, here's what we're about to do. Here's what we're about to do right here. No.
My papa always said, Lil George, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
No, because you wanna tell women.
See, you get these bonnet fools in these 4-year dead-end relationships.
She mad.
Who get mad because ain't nobody gonna marry them.
Hey, you know what, Mr. Mediocre? She's mad at him, and you mad at me. You mad at me for giving a sound educational analysis about your, you know what I'm saying, about your homie, and now you coming. So it's funny that you believe that you are given the access to be disgruntled or to be angry or to be mad, but she not giving that. Oh, but you think that I'll psychoanalyze you now. You've studied Kevin. This man studied Kevin Samuels so much, he has the same demeanor. See, the thing I learned about at the University of Oklahoma and a lot of universities throughout America is that a lot of well-spoken, affluent, black middle-class men think they're going to be able to use the tropes of being a magical Negro and speaking very properly and very softly to give a depiction they're more intellectual than what they really are. But me being the country guy that I am, my grandfather told me, he said, Lil George, if your ass is faking in front and acting like an orange, and them folks squeeze your ass and apple juice come out, they know you weren't who you said to be. My kids ain't gonna have to do no GoFundMe for me.
You know, and a lot of it actually does come down to that. 4 years of relationship, I think asking when you're going to get married is actually a pretty interesting question to be able to ask. But, in getting married is a benefit for the woman more often than not. Why? Because women date up, men date down. A woman who gets a man to get on bended knee and to risk his financial future on the strength of building a family with you is a win for you. But you're calling into a relationship show with a man that talks about women getting into marriage, and he asks you a marriage question, and then you catch an attitude. Whatever happened to respect? Far too often I see people talk shit about Kevin and about the way that he talks to people. But why does no one call out women for talking to him the exact same way, if not worse?
And that
He sounds like a men's rights activist. If you're not familiar with the group of men's rights activists, that's what he sounds like, man. The incel movement, the involuntary celibacy movement, that's what he sounds like. I think that when it comes to emotional intelligence and being able to think about respect, you have to always ask yourself and beg the question of who gets to define respect, who gets to dictate what that respect looks like. Because you didn't think it was disrespectful for Kevin Samuels to condescendingly ask questions. You only thought it was disrespect when she responded. You see what I'm saying? That's literally how systems of white supremacy act. That's when I like in the video right now, I'm giving a notion about plantation patriarchy and black men trying to prove their humanity by one-upping white men to prove, hey man, I can dominate women like you. Oh, that's how you dominate your wife, white man? Hold my breath and dominate my wife like this. Kevin Samuels ain't unique. I'm finna play this video, but I'm reading from the book of Bell Hooks, Masculinity, We So Cool. Bell Hooks is writing this book in like the 90s, before social media existed. Ain't shit unique about Kevin Samuels outside of him being an old ass man talking about women like a middle school, high schooler, and being on the internet. You see what I'm saying? And two, this to me being historical, because I also have a undergraduate degree in African American studies. W.E.B. Du Bois, and even Booker T. Washington. They had understandings that said that women's suffrage and how women are uniquely the liberation of women is tied to the liberation of black people. I don't know nobody on this planet Earth really that would call Huey P. Newton, the co-founder of the Black Panther Party, a fake nigga or a simp. Huey P. Newton, the co-founder of the Black Panther Party, said that there is no way for us to fight for our black liberation without fighting for gay liberation and women's liberation. I ain't hear nobody call it. I think that it would be preposterous to be like he was a simp. So when y'all come on and start asking these questions, it's like, again, when you say simping, according to who, based off of whom? Because it sounds like you only say that when it's in the question of empowerment of oppressed people, the people that say you shouldn't care about. You don't think it's sipping when it's like, hey, I'm a grown ass man in my 50s and I'm finna go try to appeal to men that's old enough to be my sons talking shit about women. I don't see it as simping. Go, Kevin, go. Kevin told her that black bonnet, that fool was wearing a bonnet. How dare her call on a show about marriage? And then, come on, man.
That class was a textbook example of what I call plantation politics, or what Bell Hooks called plantation patriarchy. He says, this testimony shows that enslaved black males were socialized by white folks.
He said, what? Sir, this is a book. I know that you probably can't recognize books outside of the 48 Laws of Power, but this is a good read. It's written by a black woman, though. I don't know how you know what I'm saying, but yeah.
To believe they should endeavor to become patriarchs by seeking to attain the freedom to provide and protect for black women to be benevolent patriarchs. She goes on to say, benevolent patriarchs exercise their power without using force, and it's this notion of patriarchy that educated black men coming from slavery into freedom sought to mimic. However, when slavery ended, these black men often used violence to dominate black women, which was a repetition of strategies to control white slave masters used. Some newly freed men would take their wives into the barn and beat them as their white owners had done. Clearly, by the time slavery ended, patriarchal masculinity had become accepted idea for most black men, and idea would be enforced throughout the 20th century. He can ask questions in any way, shape, or fashion, how he pleases, but that one better not ask him the same questions, because you better not go there with him.
Did you just use an example of black men understanding that they want to be patriarchs, but then utilizing what they were born into and what they saw the white slave masters doing and having that thought passed down and what they did right after becoming slaves as an example to compare why her asking in that negative, nasty tone regarding him and currently being married in that insidious way as the same thing? You know, a lot of these conversations that happen down in here are not even specific to men speaking to women or having an opinion or critiquing women, but it's also, you know, young men like this right here. That was a stretch like I have not ever seen a stretch before, young man.
People hear what they want to hear. Bell Hooks literally gave an analysis based off of relation and based off of motive. He only heard the sensational part about beating, and he said, oh, this is a stretch. You see what I'm saying? He only responded to the part of the argument that he knew I wasn't making. You feel me? I'm giving you the argument that says that black patriarchs, seeing how white men treated their wives and how they were able to use their authority and power, and Kevin Samuels did that in that particular round. He said, this is a stretch. And then he even went out of his way. This is why I know as a debate coach and as a damn good debater. For y'all that don't know, I'm top 20 Hall of Famer for college policy debate. Whichever one of you Kevin Samuels stands, whatever college football team y'all love and root for, I guarantee I smack their ass as a debater and I smack their ass as a debate coach. Guaranteed. So when y'all start trying to claim my intellect, you better recognize what you're dealing with and how you're dealing with. The niggas on the street couldn't deal with me, and the white folks in the classroom couldn't deal with me. And that's what I know. And that's the reason why I'm coming the way I'm coming. You see what I'm saying? But I presented you a whole excerpt from a chapter. It would serve you better to just go read the goddamn chapter and then make your half-baked analysis. Instead, though, man, get in front of this old podcast, you know what I'm saying, microphone, and, you know, make some claims.
He called her
Want to build and host your WordPress site in one place?
And make some claims, man. And make some claims. Man, education is elevation. Research over me search. If you don't understand the difference between being a relationship guru and giving analysis about gender constructs, then, you know, I encourage you to check out more of my content. My content ain't for everybody, though. You feel me? If through any time you find yourself being triggered or feel yourself not liking anything I'm saying, God bless you. I hope you be blessed and highly favored. You can unfollow, you can click off, you feel me? And I hope you find a better educator. You see what I'm saying? It don't make me no difference at all. But what I recognize is that you have to know who you dealing with. And it would have did this gentleman a lot of due diligence from just doing a simple Google search. Literally, if he would have typed in consciously, the same way he typed my name in to be able to go find all these TikTok videos, he could have looked me up. He could have Googled me. He could have went to my website. You feel me? Because now it's like, this ain't blue pill, red pill, green pill, black pill. This ain't what it is, real spill. You know? I digress though, man. I digress.
Bonding food. What type of anti-blackness is that right there? When I talk about my black male counterparts engaging in what I call plantation politics and what Bell Hooks calls plantation patriarchy, I'm talking specifically about how she said they wanted black women to conform to the gender norms set by white society. They wanted to be recognized as men, as patriarchs by other men, including white men. Yet they could not assume this position if black women were not willing to conform to the prevailing sexist gender norms. Many black women who endured white supremacist patriarchal domination during slavery did not want to be dominated by black men after all this shit that happened. So what we see is a lot of us have internalized the politics from the plantation, and you think being a high quality man meaning you're above a black woman, meaning they got to conform to you. And then I ask you no questions either. And I keep it a stack. Perhaps there are moments where I'm too lost in the sauce of plantation politics. But education is elevation, and I'm moving to unlearn that shit. Mr. Samuels is old enough to be my dad, and sometimes he handles himself in these conversations like a high school boy that's looking to just throw around a masculinity.
Okay, I've had enough of you. Remove race out of it and look at their behavior. That's what we do in this.
Remove race out of it.
Panel over here. We look at the behavior, irrespective of all of the intangibles that go into that and the history and this and that. Let's fix right now. Let's stop complaining about it. Let's go get therapy and let's fix it. Obviously, when you look at the marriage rate, especially within the black community, there was a
He say, let's take race out, but let's look at marriage, especially in the black community. This is my biggest issue with Kevin Samuels and the whole manosphere, you feel me, whole movement. Y'all boys lost in the sauce, man, and y'all intellectually be sucking each other's penises, trying to get each other off, you feel me, only appealing to each other. You see what I'm saying? Only appealing to each other insofar that somebody else that look like you and got the same genitals as you that identifies, you can say, man, that was cool, that was cold. Like, come on now. You want to take race out of it, but you're going to ask black women about their notion to be able to keep a job. Hey, listen, statistically speaking, there are multiple studies that show that black women are the least desired when it comes to the dating pool. But you want to look at being a relationship guru outside of race. In this instance right here, he showed you. Take race out of it. Let's go back. Let's go back and make sure I ain't misquoting quoting dude.
Okay, I've had enough of you. Remove race out of it and look at their behavior. That's what we do on this channel over here. We look at the behavior, irrespective of all of the intangibles that go into that and the history and this and that. Let's fix right now. Let's stop complaining about it. Let's go get therapy and let's fix it.
Therapy. Huh?
Obviously, when you look at the marriage rate, especially within the black community, there was a goddamn problem. And I think just continuing to act like men are completely at fault or it's all men's fault not only demonstrates a portion of the argument that has gotten us nowhere, but also a portion of the argument that continues to keep us behind. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Me over to tourismreviews@gmail.com. All right.
I'm just positive that Buddy not gonna debate me. I'm positive that Buddy not gonna debate me. You don't tell me to be colorblind and use a notion of color blindness to make a point and then try to fold your point back into racism and back into race because that's what's, you know what I'm saying, what's relevant. Like that don't even make any sense. You see what I'm saying? Kevin Samuels was supposed to be a person that was empowering black men on the notion of being black men, but they want to take race out of it. So y'all don't think there's a relationship between the economic system and who get hired and how they get hired and how they get paid in race? Right now in our country, there are women from goddamn New York City all the way to, you know what I'm saying, Hawaii, talking about the Roe versus Wade case. And y'all gonna sit here and this man gonna sit up here and be like, man, what are we gonna do about it today? So what you're telling me is the way that he concluded in his video, he believes the way about doing something about the problems today is by glorifying Kevin Samuels? That's what we doing? At this point, shit. I got like 15 minutes left. You feel me? I got like 15 minutes left. I believe, like Gifted Young One said, I would literally not only talk circles around that dude, I wouldn't even have to use much words. And two, I find it funny how a lot of those people see, y'all seen that in one instance, he was trying to say, this young liberal kid just uses big words to sound educated. And then he threw a word in there that was obviously not a part of his everyday language. This is right here what I would call conservative contradictions. And you see that a lot of Kevin Samuel's sayings are lost in the sauce of conservative contradictions. In 2016 and in 2020, when we seen that astronomical numbers of black women voted against Donald Trump, and we seen that some of the numbers amongst black men was faulty in terms of support of Donald Trump, and y'all ask the question, where are these black men supporting Donald Trump coming from? The manosphere, Kevin Samuel's University, Blexit. If y'all want to know, you feel me, what does it mean for a black conservative male to use different conservative speaking points, talk shit about women? Kevin Samuel's new. Hey, with me having an undergraduate degree in African and African American studies, I know a lot about slavery and the plantation. The way that they talked about valuing women is the same exact way that Massa talked about valuing black women when they set her black ass on the goddamn chopping block. Yes, y'all, this black woman is of this age. She's born this many kids. She's of this weight. Those things were the attributes that literally came about to take her value. Her being a low value or high value. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? So, if I flunk out of listen. Let's keep on going with this logic though, because now I got a little time. And two, I dropped the link into the comment section for anybody that want to hop on and say their words. Keep game. If I flunk out of engineering school twice, does that make me an expert on engineering? Answer me, goddamn. If I go to surgeon school and I fail twice, does that make me an expert of surgery because now I failed it? It begs the question. If I have 2 failed marriages, does this make me a relationship guru? If I have 2 marriages, is that what that makes me a relationship guru? So we're gonna come at my credentials and the women in gender studies. What university did Kevin Samuels go to outside of the 2 failed marriage institutions that he had that made him a relationship guru, you know what I'm saying, expert? I got a video. I'm finna play you the words of Kevin Samuels. I'm mad I couldn't, you know what I'm saying, figure out how to do what it is. Can y'all see it? Oh, y'all can see it. Right here, man. Ghetto Productions.
And a lot of times, guys don't want to hear that truth. We just don't. You know, if I come on here talking about, you know, female nature, such and so forth, and if I would start bashing women or talking noise, oh man, the likes and everything would go through the roof. But when you start talking to men, saying, guys, you know, cheap is some of the most expensive stuff out there. You got.
Come on now. Kevin Samuels said this in a wrinkled t-shirt before he had a whole bunch of likes and views and followers. And he said verbatim coming out the horse's mouth. Guys don't want to hear us speak our truth. I know that if I start talking about female nature and started bashing women, my numbers and my following would go through the roof. The gentleman that we just seen was one of those individuals that Kevin Samuels laid down his plan and said what he was going to do and how he was going to do it.
And a lot of times, guys don't want to hear that truth. We just don't. You know, if I come on here talking about, you know, female nature, such and so forth, and if I would start bashing women or talking noise, oh man, the likes and everything would go through the roof. But when you start talking to men, saying, guys, you know, cheap is some of the most expensive stuff out there. You got.
Come on now. So I'm simping for being about woman empowerment, being about empowerment and inspiration, and being about, you feel me, education. But he can tell y'all that I'm trying to make content to be able to appeal to women, but it ain't working. But I know that if I started talking about female nature, that's what the words he used. If I start talking about and bashing women and using a whole bunch of noise, the numbers will go through the roof. That's what he said with his own mouth. And then all these years later, y'all want to come at people that got an issue with it? Man, I've been on for an hour. I would like to have at least one person come on and just, you feel me, bring it out. Hey, Damo, go, come on, Damo. Go hop on real quick, Damo. You know what I'm saying? Give me your parting words, you feel me? Hey, listen, man, for all you folks that said that was some cooking, that was a red pill or a blue pill, or he cooked you, I no longer respect your intellectual analysis. Like the certain people that'll be like, man, Chris Duhon is the greatest point guard to ever play. It's like, yeah, you're no longer qualified to talk about basketball with me. For anybody that was like, yeah, consciously, he cooked you on that video. Don't never worry about really like being like, yeah, man, this is my analysis. This is what I meant. Like, don't do that no more. Don't do that no more. Pointing out that men are dying at war most is not a negation of male domination. It is an illustration of male domination, and that male domination is so pervasive that we will even dominate each other. You see what I'm saying? Pointing out that men are most likely to work dangerous jobs, it's not the hoorah you think it is. All it shows is that in this instance, this labor is the most valued, and we believe that these positions are for whom? Men. We didn't have to pass legislation or policies to make it where men could be able to be involved in certain industries, but we did have a lot of policies and procedures, a lot of legislation that was passed that allowed for women to be in particular, you feel me, industries. You see what I'm saying? Pointing out that, hey, college campuses is mostly women, it does not negate that those women are only there as a result of men allowing them to build road there. You see what I'm saying? Like, get y'all weight up, not your fake up. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that is, a lot of y'all are you're gender illiterate. You are illiterate when it comes to reading and writing situations about gender, especially if you make them intersectional. Don't let us start talking about black masculinity or black femininity. And then y'all gonna fall into some bullshit. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna fall into some mumbo jumbo, hoorah, like As a matter of fact, Toya G, I just want one person at least to come on, and I'm saying I'm putting the link in the in the snap in the chat. I just want one person. I don't want to go on and on and on and on and on and on. But I would like for just one person to just, you know what I'm saying? If they're a beauty, so they're trying to join, would I put is it, you know what I'm saying? Come on, somebody just come give me, you feel me, over some parting words, and we'll make it do what it do. You know? Hey, Christopher Dennis, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got all the money on me. He would not be able to, he wouldn't be able to hold his own. Guaranteed. He would not be able to intellectually hold his own with me in a debate, a live debate. He ain't gonna be able to do that. The best thing he gonna have going for him is trying to paint me as a hyper emotional, you feel me, a liberal kid. It's like, listen, fam, I can tell about everything you got going on, fam. I came from way more struggle than that dude to ever know. So this notion of what is liberal kids is funny to me. You feel me? But I got theory of beauty on, you know. Liberal kid. It's like, hey. Yeah, you gotta put it down over there. Put it on you over there. Hear my echo. But yeah, you got the flow. And then I'm out.
Hey, I just think it's funny how he died. Like, that's it. That's the end of the conversation. He died with those views, and people are upset that they continued the legacy he set up for himself. Nobody told him to say these things. He got online and made it his mission to regurgitate white supremacist views. Like, nobody told him to do that. Hey, Toy.
What's good?
It was just really funny to find out that he passed away, because everyone's reaction was just like, oh, here go all the women. They're going to enjoy this one. I'm just like, well, yeah, because not only was he spewing anti-Black views when nobody asked him to, a lot of the stuff he said was just wrong. He tried to do with he tried to do what a lot of people do when they speak ignorance, which is saying, oh, I'm being real. I'm being real with you. And it's not real. It's just very ignorant. You're not saying anything differently than all the stuff we've already been conditioned to think about. Like, you're not special for saying that Black women are on the lesser end of society. Most people already think that way. We know that it's anti-Black, and you putting on a suit and drinking your Red Bull does nothing for nobody. You could have used your platform for anything else.
Yeah, that's what I mean by respectability politics too. He used he purposely used those tropes. I'm gonna put on a suit. I'm gonna speak monotone. I'm gonna over enunciate my words. I'm gonna speak as proper as I can be in hopes that I can give off a particular perception to people that they'll believe that I'm an intellect that I'm not.
Yep, that's exactly right.
I made a debate career off of eating niggas lunch like that. On my mama, I did.
As you should.
You in your suit? I'm finna have my dashiki on. Or my white tee and these Jordans, missing with that shoe shit. I'm finna eat your lunch.
Right. Period.
And I'm finna talk loud, crazy, and I'm finna cuss. And you gonna and I dare you to be like, this man right here is not really intellectual. He talk like a buffoon. I want you to say that.
I just saw a video recently of, I don't know, I think it was a rapper, but he was speaking at some sort of like council meeting for the citizens or whatever. And he had a grill on and everything. And everybody was just like, yeah, look at him. Yeah. And I'm just like, we do love to see somebody say fuck respectability politics every now and again. We love to see it. So
yeah. What you got, T?
Hey man, not too much. I tapped in with you just because you was talking real and I got excited. You know what I'm saying? So really it's just more in person, just retweet all of that. And of course, people gonna say, of course, it's a Black woman. It's what, but just on a level of intellectual engagement, the elementary just approach, the tone, the strategy, the riding. Like, it's just really interesting because a lot of that same logic that is used to internalize, to regurgitate, and to adapt a lot of what Kevin Samuels loved or whatever would be criticized in other spaces and other contexts. A lot of what they doing to and about and for Kevin Samuels, if somebody else did that to somebody else, they would be accused of and I don't want to be homophobic, but the level of toxic masculinity connected in the back flipping, the gymnastic, the dynamics that people like his mind have to go through. Yeah, I just heard my little vertical blind fall. Don't judge me. But my dog broke it. But the gymnastics that people like them have to go through is often impressive to me, because in any other context, you want this man top, you want him heavy, and their favorite argument is, well, you don't watch all the videos, and you had talked about this, but for what? Why would? As a Black woman, what has invited me to find any validity in what you're saying? You a keyboard warrior, just like Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying? You somebody who lived behind, at least Kevin Samuels, I guess, was getting booked places. He was talking to people. This dude you're going back and forth with that has edified Kevin Samuels. Literally go to his, I hope y'all go to his IG.
Go to his IG. This man had a eulogy.
I'm gonna be stupid.
IG, gamer, YouTube. Like, where are you speaking at? Where are you getting? But you don't have any credibility, but you talking. Anybody with a VPN, anybody with an Ethernet cord, anybody with a Wi-Fi signal is getting the opportunity.
Can say anything.
But nobody. You literally need more people, and so the echo chamber. Like, get out in real life. We don't see you. You're not out nowhere in real life.
I didn't get out in real life though. He was saying I need to sit down with a think group of modern women and sit down with a think group, and it was like, fam. So let me get this straight. On one notion, you accused me of being indoctrinated in a liberal women and gender study space. In my mind, bro, it's gonna be predominantly women that's gonna be in the women and gender studies program. So on one notion, you're gonna say consciously you're only speaking this, you're trying to get some pussy, and you only repeating shit you heard women say. And then on the other notion, you're gonna say, but you need to go sit around swimming because I don't think you have. It's like, which one is it? On one notion, you say, let's take race out of it. And then literally after that, you say, especially Black marriage. It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
There's no male domination because men die the most. And it's like, who killing them?
They really just say anything. It gives Twitter. It really does. Like,
he give YouTube University, pseudo-intellectual YouTube University. I'm going to speak in monotone and try to literally, he used all of the 1980s public speaking guides. He used that shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
mean,
God. I
let's
can go
think about
find
it
a
from a
1980s
communication.
public speaking book. He did everything they said do.
Let's look at it from a communication and communications perspective, right? Two different things. Why people get them conflated. One is about the way that people connect and share ideas and perspectives. The other is about how we use platforms, use media to share and collect, communicate, things like that, right? On both of those levels, what he has done, and this is why I sit back and look at it like I don't respect what you do, but I get it and I understand what you did. You said I need to find a niche. I need to find a lane. These niggas is getting popular. They getting famous on the internet. So I'm gonna find the most outrageous, outlandish way to stay relevant. I'm gonna ride the coattails of somebody that's already up because this will get me views. This is the way people think. I part of the way sometimes can't fathom people really believe in half the bullshit they say, but we understand what sells and how, as just professional speakers, George, we know, right? You can't just be a social media enthusiast. You can't just be. You have to have a lane. You have to have an approach. You have to have something that makes you relevant, that keeps your audience, that allows you to be engageable with a certain amount of people. He's used that same logic. So what low-hanging fruit, what better low-hanging fruit than the closet conservatives that think just because they black, they really about some rah-rah shit? What better?
And to be clear, that's the perfect time to use.
The math. I love it.
Closet conservative. I like that. That's really what they is. Like, y'all some closeted conservatives, man. Just come on now and just going on and have your MAGA hat on and go to the rally. You a pick me, right. You feel me?
Like, you ain't got a lot, Craig.
I peep the footwork completely.
What? Kevin Samuels was a pygmy, and all of Kevin Samuels stands were pygmies. You feel me? But it's one thing about pygmies, though. They usually respectfully go in the demise that Kevin Samuels did. The folks you were sipping for don't really give a damn about you like that.
Come on.
They only give it for them to be able to emotionally dump on you. You only a fungible object for their own, you feel me, pleasure. And after that pleasure, after you don't have, after you no longer have disposable for my pleasure, I no longer need for you no more. Come on now, y'all acting like y'all was really supporting that man. If it is true, this man has a GoFundMe to fund, you feel me, his funeral.
Yep.
All you Kevin Samuels stance is called into question. You see what I'm saying? Hey, guarantee shit. My head get cold. They put me in that ground. Both of my kids and my wife, they good. And they ain't got no GoFundMe for me. You see what I'm saying? So to me, it's just like it's a lot of faking in front. And this is what I realized too.
Plenty.
Death guaranteed for all of us. All three of us. That's one thing guaranteed for us: death. We don't get to choose how people talk about us in life or death.
Yeah. It don't work like that.
Somebody said on, I think it was Twitter, but they were just like, you write your eulogy as you live. And that's it. That's exactly what you do. The way you treat people is how they remember you. The first impressions people get from you is how they remember you. So the fact that the first time I've ever even seen this man is you shit talking somebody's looks. I don't care if it was men and women. It's not okay.
Men and women is still like, how old are you? You're in your late 50s.
Yeah.
At that.
And your orientation towards people is talking about
it's
them
to intellectually roast them.
At your half-century grown age, you getting on the internet talking to people crazy. For what? And for who? Because that's the real question too. Who are you aiming this argument at? And he made that abundantly clear when he made that video before he even got popular. Oh yeah, I know who I'm trying to get the funds from and the attention from.
Last thing I'll say, you feel me? And I don't mean no homophobic innuendo at all when I say this, but when I was in high school, we used to talk about the idea of throwing a sausage fest. You feel me? And the idea of throwing a sausage fest was talking about the demographics and the representations of how many men were there. Kevin Samuels threw virtual sausage fest. You see what I'm saying? This is what I know. At a sausage fest, there are always tokenized women and tokenized presence of femininity that is going to be given a whole bunch more representation than they actually have. Kevin Samuels stands. You can tokenize all of the women that say they were empowered and love them and all that. And for every woman that you show me for that, I will show you a Candace Owens regurgitating copyright. You see what I'm saying? Y'all find women that purposely go against the grain of majority other women to say, look, Kevin Samuels ain't bad. That one right there don't say he's sexist. You do the same shit that white folks do when it comes to niggas. Look, that black folks right there. Hey, my black friend don't think I'm racist. That's the same thing y'all do when you try to sensationalize the handful of women that say Kevin Samuels was good. You tokenize them. You sucker ass niggas. You tokenize them. I don't respect that shit. And no, I don't respect it.
Yeah.
False prophets falling.
That's a word.
What? False prophets falling. Now all these niggas is literally going into Hunger Game type tactics, trying to fight to be the last Kevin Samuel standing. But they recognize barking up this consciously tree, this motherfucker gonna fall on your ass every time. So with
I
that
want to
being
see
said,
his response. I want to see
man,
it. I would love
he
to
should
see
make a
him.
response.
It'd be in his
Debate.
best
Hey, man
interest
to
not
man,
to.
come do this. Come see me.
He
It'd
would.
be in that man's best interest. Can I want to moderate. I want to moderate.
Put it out there because I'm watching.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all.
If he accept, I'm the mod.
watching.
And on my grandfather's grave, I will respect the timer. When the timer going on, I would not say anything to him about anything. I will respond to everything he say, though, that he say during that time on. Yeah. All I ask is that he reciprocate the same respect. He don't speak when my timer is going off, and that he responds to the arguments I've made while the timer going off.
Man, following
he can speak. He can
hard.
pick whether I speak first or last. He can pick the speak. He can pick all. All I ask is that he respects the timer. Any of you Kevin Samuel stands that really believe y'all about that intellectual shit, you believe you a relationship guru, I guarantee you with the portable skills I have about gender constructs, I will literally commit a virtual assault on you where these folks gonna be coming to get me up out my house while I'm whooping your ass on my microphone on my mama.
Yeah.
Talk your shit, Lee. You educated for a reason. You can talk your shit.
I am ready when they come for me. That's all I was saying.
And that's that on that. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. I thank you. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Definitely. You know, education is elevation. You feel me? Emotional intelligence, it should be the word for the day. Hopefully everybody, I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Hey, real quick, George Lee on a podcast with me and another guy. His name is Damo. He also goes by the name of Political Plug. If there are beauty, be in the comments. So if you like anything, any of these people been saying, you want to hear it in full length, like just like the platform, just like this, Thursday nights, 9:30. It's at the evening time. So work, put your kids up, put your children where they need to go, feed your dogs, feed your pets, do what you need to do, and then pull up on YouTube, Facebook, live. Either one of those, the three of us have the Chop Up Show, tackling all different types of topics, stuff that y'all talking about, stuff we be talking about on the TikTok and on Instagram already. Pull up. You can hear more of him talk your shit. I'm gonna talk my shit. If they're beauty, be in the comments talking. It goes crazy. They shit go crazy. Everybody does their thing. So meet us. Don't beat us. Thursday nights, 9:30 Central, 7:30 Pacific. 9:30 Central, 7:30 Pacific. On YouTube Live, on Facebook Live. Just follow the Consciously, or do yourself a favor and follow the Chop Up Show. That'll actually do you one better. Follow the Chop Up Show. But that's all I had to say. I didn't mean to. I know you was closing down.
No, you good. I appreciate you. That's the reason why Toya G gonna always, you feel me, be around, because they gonna make sure I'm on my P's and Q's. Cause I definitely was. I've been itching for a debate.
Mm-hmm.
I've been itching for a debate, a real live virtual debate, so I can live 4K. I don't want I edit it out, nothing. I want you to respond to me live. You feel me? Like, come on, holler at me. You see what I'm saying? We gonna see you gonna do it, you know?
What's understood ain't got to be explained. It sound like you did that. I'm gonna pop up off of here.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna put y'all in the back, and I'm gonna put y'all in the back. Say hi to the people, and I'll be back on y'all.
I'm about to eat some cheesecake. Drink y'all water. Drink y'all water.
Hey, I hope y'all all enjoyed this segment brought to you by Consciously, calling out foolishness and nonsense. You pseudo intellectuals, I got time. It ain't too many of y'all that I really think they be talking that shit on YouTube that really be talking. I'm be real with y'all. I don't think none of y'all YouTubers fucking with me. I repeat that. I don't think none of you YouTubers fucking with me on anything I done said. I got over 7,000 videos on TikTok. I got a couple hundred on YouTube. I defend any video. I talk about race, class, gender, ability, sexuality, politics, society, the economy. I do. You feel me? I'm intersectionality gang. I can talk to you about how everything is intersected and interconnected. I say all that to say this. Who won't smoke? Pull up.
In the city, we gon' slide, bet I be there pronto.
Me, my guys, we really live. Lord forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And that's in the console. Keep the semi when I ride. Lit off Henny when I drive. In the city, we gon' slide. Bet I be there.